Hi, I am Dr. Eurydice Moore of Eurydice. I am a 501c3 grant writer, and what I do, I help people get their 501c3, and I also help people to become eligible to receive grants. And today I will be teaching how to write a letter of intent. This workshop is for nonprofit leaders. If you are a CEO or executive director or program manager or a supervisor in the nonprofit industry or staff, this will be helpful to you because you can receive funding from what is called a letter of intent. I have over 30 years of combined education and work experience and non for profit. I have been entry level, I've been staff, been supervisor, even CEO of two non for profit. I have a background as an educator. So I am here today to teach you how to write a letter of intent. What is a letter of intent? A letter of intent is a one-page document on the front page only. You use font size 11 and you have a lot of information that you critique. It's not a regular letter. It is a letter that has grant language in it. It's not a letter that you write to your sweetheart. It's not a letter that you write to your grandma. It is a letter that is technical and it is full of grant language that funders will understand and fund you. It's a letter in which you make a request for either monetary donation or in-kind donation. In-kind is products and services because some funders are not going to give you money, but they don't mind donating inventories, displays, samples. So this letter is going to teach you how to approach them. So now we will begin class. I'm going to share my screen with you. So hold on. Here we go. Here you see letter of intent. That's what our subject is. There go my picture. I'm Dr. Eurydice Moore, 501c3 specialist and grant writer. And my business name is Eurydice. Those rings are my trademark. And my mission is to help people by assisting emerging nonprofit leaders and startups and to be eligible to attain funding for their nonprofit. My passion is to help people start nonprofit and to start them legally. Okay. Too many times I have come across people that threw up website, printed out business cards, got brochures, got stationery, and they were not even incorporated with the state. Okay. If you have that going on and you do not have what is called the Articles of Incorporation from your state, then you are illegal. And if they find out about you, they could shut you down and fine you. So you want to avoid that. So I help people to properly set up their nonprofit. And then I help people that's interested in submitting grants to become eligible. There are requirements that have to be met in order to receive grants. So I help nonprofit leaders to meet those requirements. Okay. Okay. Credential, as I share, I have 30 plus years of experience and having assisted churches, schools, agencies, and acquiring over 3 million in resource development funding. I established my first business, Eurydice Moore and Associate, in 2004, and through that business, over 12,000 plus clients have been served, in which I issue out free grant information, resource development information, help with incorporation and 501c3 status. Then in excuse me, in 2016, I set up another business to offer coaching, training, and development, and specifically grant writing. All right, I'm here to tell you because a lot of people get intimidated about writing and think you need a degree in writing, and you're not. If you like to read and you can count one, two, three, you can do a grant letter or a letter of intent, letter of inquiry. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I grew up in Chicago in the East Garfield community, graduated from Lucy Flower High School. I had a learning disability, had problems learning in school. And I was raised by a Southern woman from Georgia named Anna, who told me to pray and talk to God about my grades. Because one day, when I was in the fifth grade at age 10, I came home with another report card with nothing but U's and F. At that time, U's was unsatisfactory and F was fair. But I was socially passed because I was a quiet kid. I didn't get in trouble. Plus, I had a doctor's statement. I stayed in the doctor office many, many times. A hospital visit, doctor office visit, home sick in bed. And so there and then on top of that had a learning disability. So when I would leave school, they would be on chapter one, and when I come back, they'd be on chapter three. So and they didn't have tutoring service back then. And the classroom had 50 students in it. Can you imagine 50 students with one teacher? Okay. So there was no catching up. So I got tired of the U's and F, and I told my great grandmother, and she was like, "This is beyond me. Go in your room, get on your knees, and pray. Talk to God." So I followed her instruction, and then next thing I know, those U's and F's turned to E's and G's. Graduated 12 out of a class of 170. I began to learn, and I give it all to God. I give the honor to him. I began to learn. And like I said, the U's and F's went turned to E's and G's, graduated 12 out of a class of 170 in high school, attained an associate degree in medical lab technology, a bachelor, two masters, and three doctorates. But that kid that couldn't learn began to learn everything. So I'm saying that if you have a desire to learn, you can learn this. I want to let you know you can do this. Yes, you can. The purpose of the workshop is for you to learn what is a proposal letter, also known as letter of intent, also known as letter of inquiry, also known as a grant letter. It has so many names, but the most common name that is used in the industry is letter of intent. Okay, the purpose is for you to learn how to write a proposal letter to funders, to learn the various components of a proposal letter or letter of intent, to learn how to use the proposal letter or letter of intent or letter of inquiry or grant letter. They all are the same thing, just different words. Just like a car, we call a car an automobile. We call it a vehicle. We call it a car, but it's the same thing. Car, C A R. Okay. Now, You should attain stationery. You could make your own stationery, or you could go to Staple or Office Depot and have your stationery done professionally. At the head of your stationery, at the very top, you want to make sure you have the following information: the name of your organization, address of organization, city, state, zip code of organization, telephone number of organization, website of organization, email of organization. You want to make sure that's on top. Then, to the left of your paper, we all have seen letters. So visualize a letter right now. You put your date. My suggestion is that your letter should be dated when you intend to mail them out to the funder. Type out the month, don't abbreviate the month. Type the day and the 4-digit year. Then you drop down and you see what is called a salutation. That area, that is who the letter is addressed. You want to contact the business or funder, and you want to ask for the contact person name. They might tell you we don't have one person that view review those letters of intent or make a decision on funding. We have a committee that do that. Well, get the name of the committee, or they might say it's just a committee, board of director, or the marketing company. Whatever you are given, that's what you're gonna address the letter to. If they give you a contact person, you're gonna put the name of the contact person, and underneath the name of the contact person, you're gonna put the job title. You're gonna put the funder name, the funder address. The funder is the person that you're soliciting donation from, whether it's monetary or in kind. You're going to put the funder address. You're going to put the designated location if they give you a designated location. You may be given a room number, a suite number, or a floor. Example, 25th floor. Okay. Then you put city, state, zip code. Then to the far right of your letter, you have what is called, and we all have seen these letters that have RE and then a colon. Okay, that RE is short for regards. That is letting the funder know why you are writing them. So you type letter of intent, and then underneath it, you type the purpose, the reason for the letter of intent. Okay, if you put general operation support, you are telling the funder that I need funding for my whole organization from A to Z. I need a blanket. I need funding that's going to cover salary, that's going to cover professional services for staff training, staff development. They're going to cover the utilities. They're going to cover the phone. They will even let me buy postage stamps. I need money for program services. I need money to travel, to go to conferences, workshops. So it is a money for support of your organization. Or let's say you starting up and you want something to jumpstart. You need money for a business license. You need money to get some office furniture or equipment. Then you will put seed or you will put startup. So if they see seed, SEED, or they see startup, then they know that you are looking for support and getting your nonprofit started. Then, or you could put program development, that you are seeking money maybe just for a computer program or a food pantry, and the money is going towards purchasing items for that food pantry. Okay, now I have given you the most common reason that people write letters of intent, also known as proposal letters, letter of inquiry, grant letter. So I given you the most common reason. So select one: general operations support, or seed, or startup, or program development. Now, if you seeking funds for a program, a specific program under the letter of intent, then give the name of the program. Example: domestic violence awareness. Okay, we are done with the RE, which represent regards. So you drop down into what is called your greeting. Start with dear. Address the contact person by dear Mr. or Ms. or Mrs., or if they have an honorary title, example, dear president, etc. If you were not given a contact person, then you would write dear committee, dear marketing department, dear board members, or dear board of directors, or dear division. Okay. Now, once you have that, you will drop down. Usually, with the letter of intent, you can get about 3 paragraphs. With the letter of intent, you cannot be long winded. You have to be concise. You have to be to the point when you write. Okay. Now, when it comes to a full proposal, then that gives you wiggle room to do a lot of writing. But with the letter of intent, you have to be brief and to the point, because remember, everything has to be on one page. So, in that first paragraph, you should have what is called and consider your introduction. You want to treat this paragraph like it's a business card. You're introducing your nonprofit to the funder. You identify yourself as a nonprofit. Identify if you have the 501c3 status. Identify the community that the organization is located. Identify the city, state, and where the organization is located. Let me give you an example. ABC After School Program is a non is a I'm sorry, ABC After School Program is a 501c3 nonprofit organization located in the East Garfield community on the west side of Chicago, Illinois. Hey, that's how you do it. That's an example for you. Now, in that same paragraph, now you want to give the history of the organization. How long has the organization been established? Describe the target population served. Describe the services provided to the target population. Okay, the ABC After School organization has been in existence since June 2011. Our target population is youth between the ages of 14 to 21 years of age. And the services that we provide is after school program, homework assistant, tutoring, homework hotline, computer lab. Okay, that give you example as to uh, how to flow with your letter. Now, by the time you have done that, you got one paragraph. So now we're going into the second part. This is the second paragraph. With your letter of intent, you look to have two or three paragraphs. Okay, so we are in the second paragraph, body of the letter of intent. Now, in this section, in the body of the letter, you want to describe the reason you are contacting the funder. Describe what it is you want to do after showing the funder your track record from the introduction of the letter. Describe in turn the population to be served, when the program will start or when it has started. Let me give you an example. ABC After School Organization, okay, um, is in need of a summer program. We would like to expand our services to include a summer camp for youth. And then remember, you did your history and your track record in the first paragraph. This program will be for 14 to 21 years of age youth. The summer program will begin May of 2022. All right. Now, you got that out the way. The body of the letter continues. What services are now going to be provided? So now I got to talk about the summer youth program, camp program, what they're going to be doing. Are you expanding to serve more clients? Are you expanding to hire people? Are you seeking to purchase equipment? Where do you want to provide? Where do you want to provide this request? On site, mobile, another location. The ABC, I'm giving you an example, the ABC Youth Organization has planned to expand to service more youth between the age of 14 and 21, and also to hire two additional staff and to purchase equipment. We seek to provide this program on site of the ABC Youth Organization. Okay, that's an example to get you flowing and going. How will the fulfillment of your request be fulfilled? Give the time frame. Okay, example. We seek to begin the summer camp in May 2022, which will provide cultural excursion, field trips, recreational activities, math and science lab, computer lab. Our time frame will be from May 1st, 2022 till August 30th, 2022. All right. Now you're going into what is known as a third paragraph. This is the conclusion. The conclusion is like a summary. You are wrapping things up. Describe what it is that you want the funder to do. This is the session to make your monetary or in-kind request. This is the section to summarize what and how the monetary or in-kind requests be used. I'm going to give you an example, but first I want to explain monetary or in-kind request. When you make a monetary request, you are asking for money. You're asking for cash. When you make an in-kind request, you are asking for a product or a service. Example, product. As I said before, all funders are not going to give you money. Some do not mind sharing inventories, displays, and samples with you. So, example, Best Buy. Okay, let's say they're not going to give you any money, but they have available. They got new stock coming in. They got the updated versions of laptops coming in. So they will be willing to give you their displays. That some people tinker with. They had very little human traffic. So they wouldn't mind giving you some laptops from their display or from their inventory. Okay, so that's the difference. Service is like, let's say you need a guest speaker for a gala, for a dinner, and you contact them and you ask them to waive their honorarium, and you issue them a letter and you put in what they usually charge for honorarium, and then they can take that to their tax person and get credit that they have provided a service to a non-for-profit. So now I am going to give you an example for describe what it is that you want the funder to do. This is the section to make your monetary or in-kind request. This is the section to summarize what and how the monetary or in-kind request will be used. Okay, the ABC use, ABC After School Youth Organization is requesting the support of $20,000 for the summer camp to begin May 2022, which will cover excursion, field trip, math science lab, tutoring, and a computer lab. So that's how you would do that. You would tell them what you got, the dollar amount you want, and what you plan to do with it. Now we're going to the ending. State again what it is you are requesting. Give name or contact person that can be reached for additional information. Give the telephone number that the contact person can be reached. Okay, let me give you an example. The ABC After School Youth Organization is seeking to start a summer camp for youth between the ages of 14 to 21 years of age on site at the nonprofit. You may contact John Doe at 555-565-1234 for additional information. The next part of the letter of intent is signature. Choose how to end the letter. All right, you can say sincerely or with best regards, or you could use another appropriate business option. Then, after you do that, after you chose how you're going to close out the letter, then you type your name, John Doe, type credential, executive director. Okay, I'm sorry, John Doe, and then next to his name, type M.A. That shows he has a Master's of Art degree. Then underneath his name, Executive Director. Okay, that shows his position. And then there's space where John Doe can sign his name. Okay, I want to give you some tips for the letter of intent. The letter of intent should be one page on one side. You should use font size 11. Always use white paper. Please do not use cream or ivory. Please do not use there's paper that have is almost like tissue paper. You want firm white paper. Make sure you do a spell check. Have somebody to proofread it to see if the letter makes sense. Okay. Now, that letter is a multi-purpose letter that you could use for many things. Through my 30 plus experience, I have found out that the letter of intent, which is also known as a letter of inquiry, a proposal letter, and grant letter, it has several names, but the common name in the grant industry is letter of intent. You could use the letter of intent for monetary requests. You could use the letter of intent. Okay, what I mean by monetary request is to ask for cash. You can ask the funders for 5,000. You can ask for 1,000. You can ask for 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, $50,000 cash award. Okay, that's when you make known the dollar amount that is needed for your organization. Sometimes funders will give you exactly what you asked for. Sometimes they will give you more or less, depending on their budget. And remember, you are not the only one requesting funds. There are others that have sent in their letter of intent. And sometimes you will get a denial where they will say that because they receive so many inquiry, they were only able to select a few and fund a few people. So you don't fall down and have a fit and roll around. You just get up, brush yourself off, and know that there's billions of funders in the United States and outside the United States. You keep going until you get a yes. You keep going until you get yes. Somebody is going to say yes to you. Okay. So you keep going. Then somebody might say, well, $1,000, that's not a lot. But let's say you sent out 20 letters and you ask them for 1,000. And let's say 10 funders fund you, 1,000 each. That's $10,000. So do the math. Okay. Now, the letter of intent can be used for in kind requests. I kind of mentioned that before. Example, you can do a letter of intent to request equipment, office supplies. Let's say you got a clothing closet for the community. Do you not know there's a lot of dry cleaners that some people never pick up their items and it's overdue. And the cleaners have clearly on the tag that after 30 days, they're not responsible for those items. Do you not know that they have the power to donate those clothing to you? And that will help your community closet. Same thing with food. You can request food, canned goods from grocery stores, in kind donation. All right, the letter of intent, also known as the proposal letter, also known as letter of inquiry and grant letter. You can request sponsorship. You can seek out businesses and ask them to sponsor an event, a program, okay? Ask them to be supportive. And in exchange for their sponsorship, you offer them speaking time before your audience. You offer them a table where they can display their products and services. You write their name in program. You put up a banner. It's so much you can offer. You need to develop a sponsorship program. So when you request sponsorship, know that they're looking for something in return. So you need to decide what it is that you're going to give in return. And all right, the letter of intent can be used for inquiry or inquiries. What do that mean? You can use it to inquire if a funder have funds for distribution. Are they planning to release funds? Okay, you can inquire for that. Now, um, the letter of intent can also be used for preliminary screening for funders. Some funders will ask for a letter of intent and they will read through it. And if they're interested in you, they would invite you to complete what is called a full proposal. If they are not interested in you, they will either contact you by email or US mail and say that you all are not a fit. You're not a match. Okay. So it could be used for preliminary screening. And then some funders, they don't respond at all. They read it and they like, they're not a match and they don't even contact you. Okay, with the letter of intent, you could use it to seeking speakers. As I mentioned briefly in one of the other slides, that you may seek people to for speaking engagement. You need speakers. You could use the letter of intent to waive honorarium and give them a contribution letter that they can take to their tax person and they can get credit for offering their service. So this concludes the workshop. And if you have any questions, you can contact me. You will see my contact information in a few minutes. All right, resources. I strongly, when it comes to email, uh, suggest you use Gmail. If you're using a financial institution, because let's say that a funder say, okay, we will fund you, then you need to have a bank account or an account at a credit union. Because what they're doing these days, they are depositing, they are wiring funds to bank. There's a few funders that will write a check and mail it to your organization, but that's not the trend now. The trend is to make deposits into your account. So make sure that you have either a bank account or you have a credit union account. Make sure you are at some type of financial institution. Now, remember on your letter, I said to put your website. Okay, don't send a letter if you don't have a website. Funders check out your website. So, an economical place to check is Wix.com or Vistaprint. They have really nice program and packages. Social media. Funders are asking for social medias now. So in your introduction, at the head of your page, it will be good for you to include Facebook or LinkedIn, or you can list all the social medias that you have a platform on. Now, I also do workshops on micro grants, you know, how to complete grant application and micro grants. And once you have learned the letter of intent, remember I said that's one way of funding. Then your second level, you should learn how to do micro grants where you can get 1,000, 5,000, or 5,000 plus. And then there's some website below. You see where it say grant website. These are places that you can go to look up funders and to send letters of intent. Now, if you need me for grant writing or grant technical support, then there's my email, Eurydice501c3 at Gmail. Okay, now quarterly I do workshops and I send out flyers. I do grant management workshop, resource development, proposal letter writing, proposal grant writing. I also have books for sale, do it yourself, self help books. I have a book entitled Resource Development, How to Set Up a Nonprofit. I have a book on how to set up a for profit. I have a book, my autobiography. If you want to read about my journey into business, how I end up in business. Okay, that's the resource development book, going to the next level. Then here's my contact information where you can reach out to me. You have my email, my phone number, my website, my Facebook. Uh, I want you to know that we are a MBE, WBE certified consulting firm. And this presentation has been copyright October 2020. Uh, Information is shared for educational purposes. Seek counsel where applicable. That's the disclosure for this workshop. I am not an attorney. I am not a CPA. I am a business consultant. I want to thank you for signing up and taking this workshop, How to Write a Letter of Intent. You have my contact information if you have questions. I'm back. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So I believe you could write a letter of intent. I really do. It's a one page. I gave you the format. You got the heading, the date, the RE, which stands for regards. You got the greeting, the body of the letter, you got the introduction, then you have the body of the letter, the conclusion, and then you have the ending, the signature. I made it simple. I simplified it. So let's get started and seeking funding for your organization. Once again, if you need to contact me, you have my contact information. So thank you for taking this course. I know it was short, but I also know it was sweet and to the point. Thank you.